Welcome to Episode 1. This is a grounded look at Africa's economic reality. We examine how monetary control has shaped the continent's past, how it affects daily life today, and how these same systems can be redesigned to serve African development rather than external wealth. How Africa can break free from currency control without permission. Let's get started. Africa is often described as poor, but poor is not the right word. A person with no shoes is poor. A continent with gold in Mali, oil in Nigeria, cocoa in Ghana, fertile land in Ethiopia, and ports in Kenya is not poor. What Africa is restricted. Restricted by systems that quietly decide who prints money, who holds reserves, and who must ask before acting. Whether you're watching this in Dakar, Ouagadougou, Yaoundé, Accra, or from the diaspora, this story touches you. Because currency systems don't care about borders, they care about control. Today is not about anger, it's about understanding the machine. Because once you understand the machine, you stop arguing with it and start unplugging it. Now, 1. What currency control really is. When people hear the word currency, they think of prices. Tomatoes in Ibadan, bread in Dakar, fuel in Nairobi. But a currency is not just something you spend, it is something that governs. A sovereign currency allows a country to expand spending during crises, support local industry, control credit and interest rates. Countries like Ghana or Tanzania, despite challenges, retain this lever. When that lever is missing, governments manage symptoms, not causes, but where the CFA franc comes from. Let's take a system millions of Africans live under, the CFA franc. The CFA franc was created in 1945 during French colonial rule. Its original purpose was not development, it was economic control. The system ensured that colonies traded mainly with France, profits flowed outward, monetary decisions stayed external. After independence, countries like Senegal, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Benin, Togo, Cameroon, and others inherited this system, not because it was perfect, but because leaving it alone was risky. Think of tenants in the same compound. One family leaving is exposed. Everyone leaving together changes the landlord's leverage. Now, how the CFA franc works. Here's how the CFA system actually works. The CFA franc is tied to another currency. It was tied to the French franc. Today, it's tied to the euro. This means its value is fixed to Europe, not local needs. Prices, jobs, and credit can't adjust on time. For that stability, members must accept this. Keep national reserves in foreign accounts overseas. Follow rules influenced outside their parliaments. Accept limits on crisis spending and policy choices. Stability sounds good. When shocks hit, Senegal or Benin can't tweak the rate. Decisions wait abroad, and households pay. Very stable for creditors. Very costly for workers and firms. It's like being given a car, but the steering wheel is in another country, and you must send an email before turning left. Next, how this connects to the dollar. Here's the quieter trap. Even though the CFA is tied to the euro, most global trade is priced in US dollars. Oil imports into Senegal. Fertilizer for Mali. Machinery for Ivory Coast. So CFA countries must earn euros or dollars, convert between systems, maintain reserves they don't fully control. It's like being paid in naira, billed in dollars, and fined in euros for being late. Technically possible, strategically exhausting. Now, how currency control is weaponized. Currency systems don't need soldiers. Pressure shows up as credit rating warnings, investor confidence concerns, capital flight threats, international media narratives. When countries like Mali or Burkina Faso talk about changing course, they're told markets will panic, investment will flee, stability will collapse. No timeline, no proof, just enough fear to delay action, and delay is very effective. For example, a familiar case, imagine a trader in Kumasi or Bamako. You grow the food, you sell every day, customers trust you, but prices are set elsewhere, savings are kept in another house to restock, you must borrow, you are busy, you are productive, but you are not in control. That is what currency restriction looks like in daily life. Before we go further, a quick word. If you've made it this far, it means this message resonates with you. Whether you're watching from Accra, Dakar, Nairobi, Johannesburg, or the diaspora. To help this message reach more Africans and more minds, liking the video helps. sharing it helps even more, and subscribing helps us keep doing this consistently. Even one of those actions goes a long way. Alright, back to the video. But the cost of this system isn't academic. It shows up as stalled factories in Nigeria, youth unemployment in Senegal, infrastructure, delays across the Sahel, farmers feel it when inputs are imported, manufacturers feel it when credit is expensive, governments feel it when budgets don't stretch. It's like owning a farm, selling all the yams, then borrowing money to buy Gary. Everyone works hard. Value keeps leaving. But there's progress. How the Sahel is flipping the script. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger formed a security and economic pact, prioritizing autonomy over external permission. Together, they coordinate energy, food supply, and cross-border trade corridors to reduce hard currency pressure. Mali has increased state role in gold flows, using reserves to stabilize fuel and essentials when needed. Burkina Faso reviewed mining contracts and prioritized local power projects, keeping value onshore. Niger diversified energy partnerships and fuel supply routes, cutting import bottlenecks that trigger currency drains. Collectively, they're piloting settlement in regional units first, invoicing locally, netting balances, settling less in dollars. Think of it as market credit. Trade moves daily, accounts clear monthly, and reserves are backed by real assets. Ports and corridors matter. Tema Ouagadougou, Cotonou Niamey, and Sahel road links shorten supply chains and currency exposure. Policy tools follow, temporary capital controls, import prioritization, and reserve pooling to weather shocks without panic. Result, fewer emergencies, more negotiation. Suppliers accept phased payment when assets and corridors back promises. This is not about isolation, it's about leverage. Trading on African terms first, asking for permission less. If the Sahel can align trade, energy, and settlement, any region can. Start local, link corridors, then scale. Very stable becomes very effective. Once stability serves African priorities, not external permission. So, here's the strategic shift. You don't start with what people use in shops in Ouagadougou or Lomé. You start with trade settlement, how countries pay each other. Oil, food, fertilizer, machinery. If you don't control that, you're not negotiating prices. You're negotiating permission. You don't argue about the size of the plate when someone else decides the menu and sends the bill. Now, here is the playbook to turning things around. Step 1. In the immediate, 0 to 12 months from now, regional trade clearing units, West African countries settle trade using an internal accounting unit. No cash, no printing. Like the market credit book in Kano or Bobo Dioulasso, everyone trades balances are tracked, settlement comes later, quiet sovereignty. Then, step 2, medium term, 1 to 3 years, back settlement with real assets, gold from Mali, oil from Nigeria, agriculture from Burkina Faso. If you say, I'll pay later, people worry. If you say, I'll pay later, and the gold is here, people relax. Trust without permission. Finally, step 3, long term, 3 to 10 years, optional shared regional currency. Only after. Trade independence reserves coordination. By then, sovereignty is structural. Importantly, proof it can work. Alternative settlement already exists. Within Africa, regional payment systems exist, gold production exists, trade corridors exist. From East Africa to the Sahel, the pieces are already present. What's missing is coordination, not capacity. But expect pushback. Resistance and countermoves, often polite, with charts. You'll be told the sky will fall. Interestingly, the sky only seems to fall when Africa stops asking for permission. Countermoves, capital controls, reserve pooling, domestic bond markets, standard tools, standard playbook. So, a nation controlling settlement doesn't beg for liquidity. Once food, energy, and trade are internal, pressure becomes negotiation. From Dakar to Addis Ababa, Africa does not need permission. It needs execution. Thank you for making it this far. Your support really helps. Please like, share, or subscribe. See you in the next episode.